Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 22 with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Happy baseball, everybody. The CBA was signed, what was it, Tuesday of last week? I'm recording it on whatever. You know what I'm recording. It just confused everything. But yeah, so baseball's coming back, which I'm very excited about. I don't really watch a lot of baseball. I used to watch it a lot more when I was a kid. I felt like I had a lot more patience. But man, baseball's a slog. And I'm not gonna be, old man, "Brr, brr, 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 brr. I can't believe that people watch this stuff. Brr, 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 brr," whatever. Um, I just don't think it presents well on television. I'm not sure that it ever has. I think baseball is just a better game on the radio, in my opinion. I used to have game day audio. I used to listen to it every once in a while, but honestly, it just takes too long. I have no problem with it being big home runs, big strikeouts. I'm not one of those people who thinks, oh, we need to go back to ticky-tacky contact plays with lots of stolen bases. It's not the 1970s anymore, my friends. We don't need to go back to the 70s. Um, but I Yeah, it's a lot for me to decide to sit down and watch a baseball game as opposed to, say, watching football or watching hockey. Either of which I will happily put on if they're on the TV, as long as I care about the teams that are playing. Um, for hockey, it's because I live in Houston, and I don't really care about the Stars. That it's I just don't watch very much hockey because my favorite team is the Colorado Avalanche, and it's not easy to see them on broadcast TV. I watched a bit of the playoffs last year, though, and that was fun. It was the first time I actually got a chance to sit down and watch a couple of hockey games, and I always love watching hockey. I hope Houston gets a team someday. That would be a really cool thing for me to see. Um, but anyway, let's talk about baseball. So, an important part of the CBA, which is why the collective bargaining agreement, which is why I led off with that, is the addition of a designated hitter in the National League. And I had said, when there's an official DH in Major League Baseball, or when it happens in my game, I will enable it. It's happened. We're designating a hitter, my friends. We are designating the ever-loving shit out of hitters. Now I just have to remember what the stupid button is. Is it under rules? Yes. Ready? Ready? Boom! Oh, that feels good. That feels so good. This is gonna be the only time I'm gonna talk about this. I think I talked about it once, like several years ago, but I want to just bring it up now because I think it's really important. I really don't get why people love not having DH. I really don't. Like, I get it. It makes the individual game more interesting because you can things like double switches. People have to decide when to pinch hit for the pitcher. I get that. But that's a tactical decision, right? And here's the truth: the number of times a tactical decision actually affects who wins a baseball game is pretty low. But there's always arguments to be made, of course, about, and we've actually seen in this very series times where a bad tactical decision by the AI cost us a game um, in the playoffs. And one thing I probably need to do is I probably need to be a little bit smarter with how I allocate bullpen roles if I'm not going to play the games myself. But that's a topic for another time. But the real thing is the most important tactical decisions that are actually interesting and fun to think about in baseball are how am I setting my lineup, who's my starting pitcher, and when do I put in a reliever, and if so, which relievers do I put in. Dealing with the double switch is just, it's just not that interesting. Maybe it's because I never watched National League Baseball all that much. My wife will never forgive me for this. I was a Cardinals fan in the late 90s, early 2000s. I think it's criminal that Jim Edmonds got bounced off the ballot so quickly. Him and Kenny Lofton both. I always liked Scott Rowland. I liked Ray Lankford. I liked Albert Pujols when he first came up. When I played High Heat 2001, which is actually the first baseball video game I ever played after like Atari Baseball. I love that. So I've always had a soft spot in my heart for the Cardinals, but in terms of like the National League and the DH in particular, it is way more interesting to me, as someone who likes the GM stuff more than the coaching stuff, to think about how am I going to use this new roster spot? Because it's both a positive and it's a negative. If I'm carrying an extra hitter, I have to carry one less pitcher. Or I have to find somebody who can do both roles really effectively. And that makes me happy. That makes my brain happy. That it's something additional that I have to think about. So I think that's a really interesting and important take, in my opinion. I think that's something that you have to consider in terms of deciding whether or not you'd like to see a DH or not. It extends careers of players who might not be able to defend that well, but are still fantastic hitters. If I'd had a DH for the last 3 years, I probably would have played Gunnels more. And he might have gotten even higher up on the career leaderboards for various things. Which is good in my opinion. I think it would have been really cool to have had that option, but alas I didn't. Which is my own fault, because I deliberately chose not to enable it until it either happened in real life or until it happened in the game. And we haven't gotten any rules changes in the game for a while. So that's kind of interesting. But anyway. I never realized those are two different lists. I always thought it was the same. Huh. Well, that's pretty bonkers, but okay. Anyway. So that's why I'm really excited to see where we're going to go from here with a designated hitter. Now, I know what you're all thinking. I can read your brains. Abby's going to DH Avila, right? Wrong. Avila is just too freaking good. And something to think about is it's going to tank your WAR if you're a designated hitter. There's actually a negative position adjustment if you're a DH. And the thing is, and I know people like, oh my god, his catcher rating is 38. He must be the worst. He's good enough. And most importantly, my pitching has still been pretty solid the whole time. So I don't really feel a need to pull him out for being a catcher yet. But I do have that flexibility now. If I decide I want to do that, and plus just the fact that I'm paying $30+ million, I don't want that person to be a designated hitter. I want that person to be catching every day. Which is exactly what he's going to be doing. So I know some of you are going to be like, Avi, how stupid can you be? Just DH the guy and find a better defensive catcher. I get it. I don't think catcher defense is why we're falling short, though. I really don't think that. Okay. So, let us, first of all, double check and make sure that I'm all set with coaches. I'm pretty sure that I am. Yep, we've got offers coming in. Brilliant. CJ Rutherford is our new bench coach. And we'll decide what he does here shortly. I think we've got controlling offers going out. So I think that's going to help with the chemistry a bit. At some point, we're probably going to replace our third base coach because he's also part of the issue. Actually, do we fire him and hire somebody else? How much longer is his contract for? You know what? He's going to expire. Oh, no, I actually just re-signed him. That was not a great decision. Oh, well. We'll figure it out. He's such a good coach, I don't mind if there's a little bit of staff cohesion issues. Yeah, we just need more controlling people. So next time I get a chance, I'll probably replace another coach to try to get some more staff cohesion. Anyway. So, last episode in terms of transactions, we made a couple of trades. We traded for Mike Giles from the Miami Marlins to fill the hole left when Mike Barber departed. And we also have the important decision, and we also traded our closer, Eric Corrigan, because it's the law, the Pirates can't have a closer for that long, acquiring Greg Merrill from the Colorado Rockies. But, my friends, we have some important decisions to make still. All those contracts are out. And somebody raised a very, very good point. As much as I would love to get a draft pick, there is a real chance that Jimmy Weaver would actually sign the deal. I'm over him now. Like, $18 million for 3 wins is a relatively good deal. Because remember, that benchmark of $8 million per WAR is fine. But the thing is, he's trending in the wrong direction. And he's already 35. I don't think I can even take the risk of him agreeing to sign it. So we're not going to do that. So what do we want to upgrade this offseason? Well, I'm glad you asked. We can probably upgrade most directly in the designated hitter role. I'm sorry, it seems like I'm stalling, but I'm stalling a little bit, but I'm trying to think about what specifically I'd like to develop. Where are we actually lacking to the point where an upgrade would be meaningful? So DH is obviously the big one. I don't really have an obvious choice on the roster, unless we just call up Aldridge again. I'm kind of over Aldridge, though. A little bit. I don't think his contact is sustainable. If he's hitting like 250 or 260, he's a great hitter. But he strikes out way too much, and he doesn't get on base frequently enough to carry him over the hump unless he's hitting that 240, 250 range. Which he's definitely capable of. And I don't really want to trade him, but we're going to think very strongly about what to do with Aldridge. This might be a time to give Jesus Ortiz a longer look, but to be honest, he's never played above A-ball. I want him to get experience in the high minors before I call him back up. Yeah, I don't really have too many players in the high minors that I'm like, that person was made to be a DH. So we will definitely be looking for that in the in free agency, maybe through trades, etc., etc. Losing Eric Corrigan, I think we have the bullpen arms to carry through that with guys like Greg Fleischman and everything, or Joe Burton. I wouldn't mind maybe taking a flyer on an interesting reliever and see if we can deal with that. But we're at the point where our low minors in particular are getting pretty bare. Our best prospect is still Pozo, who's now in the major leagues. A couple people commented, by the way, about Pozo's attitude, and I know he is unmotivated, which might mean he never truly reaches his maximum potential, but what we have now is totally fine, guys. He might come away... he's not going to win a Gold Glove, he's not that good. But he might. And his flexibility to shift over to third base, if we decide we want to upgrade a shortstop, is just too good. Yeah, is Bobby Herrera our third baseman of the future? He might be. His major league debut was certainly not a bad thing. I'm not convinced he's a long-term asset because of his injury history and mostly because he's just not an elite defender. But he'll get the job done. We need power in this lineup desperately. desperately. So if we get a DH, that's what we're going to focus on. We're going to focus on a guy who can bring the thump. Even if that means maybe giving Aldridge another try. We got to get power in this lineup, or we're just going to continue to struggle. We could theoretically upgrade at center field. I mean, Sean Winter offers a lot at various positions. I don't know that he's necessarily the best possible center fielder. But he did okay, right? He did okay. He may be a little better suited, though, to being a bench guy who just contributes in a variety of meaningful ways. But at the very least, he's got a chance to win the center field role unless somebody actually turns out to be even better. That we can acquire either through the draft or through trading or what have you. I'm not totally sold on Greg Merrill, but thankfully I don't have to worry about him for a bit. I think he's going to be an important key to this offense just because we need that big power bat, and he's really never gotten the proper attention he's deserved. For whatever reason, people keep benching him, and I don't really get it. I know he's not a great first baseman, but he's good at what matters in a first baseman, and that he doesn't cause many errors. That's really all you need out of a first baseman. So yeah, he's going to get the first base job, and we're going to cut him loose, and we're going to see if he can dominate the way we think we can. The biggest path, I feel, to a major upgrade in this team, obviously replacing Weaver, hoping for continued development from Jesus Moya, is going to be a big thing. We still have Luis Montour, who might be a decent starter in his own right. What am I really hoping for? I guess I just want that big bat. We do have a decent bit of money. We probably can't get, like, the toppest of top tier players. But I think we're going to be okay. We don't really have any big decisions coming up. Not really, anyway. If Tommy McDonald opts out, he's getting a new contract. He's too important to this team. I can't lose him in any sense of the word. No big arbitration awards are coming up, which is very good news. Pozo's eventually going to get a big payday, but I need to see a little bit more from him before I can commit to that level. So, my friends, we're going to see what happens this offseason. It's going to be an interesting one. We're going to see some player movement for sure, in one way or another. So, let us advance forward some time. A couple people are happy, as they should be. We got Broyles, we got D'Onofrio, Rorex is pretty happy. We're still waiting on the first base coach. Once we hire him, though, I think we're going to see an improvement there. Rorex, you definitely did not get a better offer. Don't lie to me. I'll give you $180,000 to be a first base coach. Okay, a bunch of my people signed. Great news. Awesome. Let's keep going with that. Rorex, didn't I already offer you an extension? No, I guess I didn't. Alright, fucker, $200,000. I need the fact that you're an asshole on my coaching staff, apparently. Okay, fucker, go to hell. I am not paying you that much money to be a first base coach. I mean, I guess he's actually making less than Dixon, so maybe it is fair to give him one more raise. $250 is my final offer. Like, you haven't even been a coach before, so I don't see why you're demanding so much money from me. But we're gonna see if I can get you to sign for $250. Alright, that apparently was his breaking point. That's good to hear. Oh my god, Rorax, fuck off. Don't use me as a way to get more money from some other organization. You can go right to hell. I'll get a new first base coach who's even better. Let's just pick one of these. Here we go. Yeah, I can get Andrew... Oh no, I want someone who's controlling, don't I? Yeah, let's get Juan Carlos here. Got a gold glove. Tommy McDonald got a gold glove. Well, good for him, I guess. Silver Slugger for Avila and nobody else. I'm not that surprised. Wasn't really a banner year offensively in a lot of ways. Tommy McDonald won Cy Young again. Damn, son. My friends, that is back-to-back Gold Gloves and back-to-back Cy Young Awards ever since we signed him. He's just driving up his own value, though. It's going to be hard to keep him. But hopefully it'll work out for us. So, what's our staff cohesion like now? Oh, he hasn't signed yet. Okay. Alright. We still show us feuding. What I plan to do is I plan to go ahead and just go through the season a bit and see if it fixes the problem. Because I mean, the alternative would be firing Kevin Dixon to hire somebody who's controlling. But I don't think that's really necessary yet. I just need some time together to figure out our shit. Okay. Anybody interesting here? I mean, the guy's name is Ichiro. Eh. Yeah, we're not really getting young, really interesting players that are posting, which is unfortunate. Yeah, none of y'all are worth looking into. I'd love to cast my ballot for the Hall of Fame. It is a shame that Justin Baltimore never pitched for Baltimore. That feels like a really missed opportunity there. Cody Ballinger, yes. That's a Hall of Famer in my book, as is Bo Bichette. As is Carlos Correa. By the way, what does it for me for Bellinger is the fact it's 600 homers, which makes that 2,700 hits all the more impressive. So he is a real good one, and he will be making the Hall of Fame if I have any say about it. Looking. I'm not overwhelmingly done. Luis Garcia ended up having a pretty decent career. Oh no, that's a different Luis Garcia I'm thinking of. Okay. Yoswar Garcia, maybe? Vlad Jr., definitely. I'll come back to him and see if I haven't already filled my thing. Why would you voluntarily get the nickname Yank? Gross. Royce Lewis is thoroughly unremarkable. Marco Luciano doesn't do it for me, really. Nor does Chris McMullen. Christian Pache is an elite defender, but not a great hitter. I've always had kind of a soft spot for players like that. Definitely you. I'm going to throw a vote to Pache. I'm not convinced he deserves it, but I think he at least deserves the consideration. Notarius Slack. What an amazing fucking name. Just flat out brilliant. Spencer Torkelson, definitely. So I got 3 spots left, and there's a bunch of players that are like borderline in my opinion. Alec Thomas is one of them. I think I'll give him a vote just because, again, he combines great defense with good offense, and that's always a winning combination in my book. I don't know if Ramirez is going to make the Hall of Fame. I don't know that I care enough about it to put him in. No matter how much I love him as an actual player. Garcia, I'm gonna vote for you. I think the full package you provide overrides the fact that your batting average was kind of shit. Joey Gallo's a bridge too far for me. I mean, a 206 career batting average. I don't care how many home runs you've hit. That's not that impressive. I'll go for Rafael Devers, and I think he'll be my last one. There you go. Submit. Honestly, Bellinger will make it for sure, as will Vlad Jr. Beyond that, I don't know who will make it out of this class. I'm a little surprised Bichette even had to wait 2 years. I think this might be the year he finally makes it. But yeah, other than Bellinger and Guerrero, I don't know that I guarantee anybody makes it. Which is fine. We need to make sure there's lots of room for Garrett Gunnels when he retires, right? Or actually, when he's eligible, because he retired last season. Oh no, an undisclosed injury. What did you do, like... Okay, that's legit, but why are you closing a garage door if it's stuck? I don't know. I did get my, we lost power for a day, and I was closing my garage door, and I did get, like, my hand pinched in it, and it bled a little bit. So that's my story. I also can't use can openers. Every can opener I've ever touched in my life has made me bleed somehow. I think it's a vendetta, personally. I offended some can opener in the past, and the can opener spirits have been after me ever since. Okay. So, my friends, yeah, I'm not signing a 40-year-old starting pitcher unless he wants very little money. I ain't stupid. Now, Caleb Bautista, on the other hand, $9 million with no compensation? He's a captain. He's got a pretty solid injury history. Okay, if I sign Bautista, whose spot would he be taking? Montour's. Or Moya's. Whoever would decide to keep... Yeah, I'm doing it. $9 million is a fucking bargain for Caleb Bautista. I am more than happy to make that offer for you. That's an easy choice for me. Alright, let us sort by batting ratings, and we're going to look at power. Jorge Maldonado's got lots. But I'm looking for a good all-around hitter. I don't just want a guy who hits for big power. I want somebody who's... like Jonathan Ariza? I would absolutely sign him. Yeah. I mean, Jake West is just Dan Aldridge, but more Dan Aldridge-y. You have a little bit of upside left on you, too. You might hit for more power. There is Jorge Maldonado, but there's two things about him I don't like. I don't like his contract size, and I don't like the fact that he's going to cost me a draft pick. Gene Anderson is a really solid all-around hitter who's also from Pennsylvania. He's got good power. He's got good plate discipline. He's got decent contact. So let's compare Anderson and Ariza. So first things first, Ariza is, 8 years younger. Which is something you can't ignore. But he's not as polished in batting eye and in gap power. He's got more potential, obviously. Ariza would need a platoon guy, because I wouldn't trust him to face left-handed pitching. Whereas I'd be pretty confident that wherever I put him, Anderson could handle it. Is there any difference defensively? Not really. I think we're going to go for Anderson. I mean, we could sign both, but we're going to go for Anderson. Especially because, oh yeah, that's an easy choice. That's perfect. Next and last, I want to take a look at default all players, and I just want to look and see if there's any other outstanding players that need a good home. Chris Mcneal. Why do I know you this name? Didn't you used to pitch for Pittsburgh way back when? You did. I remember this. Yeah, I actually traded you before you even before you even started for me, I traded you. Good to see you're doing well. Well, somewhat well. I'm also trying to find a reliever just to give us a little bit more depth in the bullpen, but I don't want to pay a premium for that. Is this former Pirate Eric Martin? It is former Pirate Eric Martin. Yeah, let's give him an offer. Oh, you're delusional if you think I'm giving you a 3-year deal where there's not 2 team options. I mean, I don't know who you think I am, but I'll give you a no trade clause, but the rest of it is most definitely, yeah. Okay. I think that is a good start to free agency for us. And we'll see where that gets us. Yes, we'll activate Montour. This is not a great offseason to need a big-time bat, but I think that's all right, and it's going to help the rest of us as we sign DHs for the first time. So that's cool. It's interesting to me that nobody has really signed yet. I mean, Maldonado went to San Diego. Good for him, but he was a little bit too... Okay, we got Eric Martin. So our old pal Eric is coming back and joining us in Pittsburgh here. That's a very good sign. I know we're signing out with a torn rotator cuff. This is definitely not a risk-free scenario, but he was really good for us when we had him. And even more importantly, he's got a history of not being injured. So I'm hoping that he'll recover and be as good, if not better, than ever. You are offering me Manny Fernandez. Okay, Manny Fernandez is a legit hitter. That is for sure. What am I giving you in return? Jose Talamontes, who cares? Jaden Wheeler. No Biggie and Hirayama. Okay, let's talk about this actually. This is actually a really important decision to make. Manny Fernandez would fit the bill of being a better than average DH. He's got virtually no hole in his swing. He's got a lot of power, and he's a really solid hitter top to bottom. He is a bargain in terms of relative money. I think he could be a really good fit for us. Is he better than Anderson? Yes, he is much better than Anderson. So I think, yeah, I really think this is the smart idea. Actually, no, we can sign him anyway because it's a minor league contract. I can freely, as I desire, go from there. Yeah, you know what? Welcome aboard, Manny Fernandez. Can I get him to drop Wheeler? Can I get picky? Okay. Just because Wheeler might be a decent second baseman someday, I'd rather give you somebody who's we quite clearly think less of. Yeah, Aguirre's not going to amount to shit. You can have him. And there's our starting DH, my friends. I'm really hoping for a good season from him. That'd be great. Okay, the Gulls really badly want Kevin Padden, but how badly do they want him? Isaiah McGrew, meh. Steve Robertson, meh. Luis Zamora, wait for it, meh. Vinny De La Pena, meh. There's not an amount of meh you can throw at me to get me to give up a useful asset. So you can go fuck yourself. How's that sound? I think it sounds amazing that you go fuck yourself. I don't got that kind of money, guys. To just, like, piss it away. Come on now. Isn't Jeff Bridich... Wasn't he the guy that was the GM of the Colorado Rockies? Yeah, and he got fired because... Or maybe he just got hired, I don't remember. Alright, Rule 5 time. Anybody we want to make sure we put on the Rule 5, lest we lose them. Friends, I'm not seeing much. I am not seeing much here that's like, oh my god, if you don't put them on the rule, the 40-man, you'll lose them forever. I also only have one spot, so we should probably not be bothering. We're going to auto-draft until my next pick, and we'll see if there's any good Rule 5 deals to be made. Nope. Awesome. Okay. Caleb Bautista is now a Pittsburgh Pirate, and my 40-man is full, as is my heart. Just out of curiosity, Mr. Bautista. Friends, that is a really, really generous contract. And I think he'll do great in Pittsburgh. Yeah, fuck it. Let's give him a contract extension. Let's not even hesitate for a split second, because that's a really good deal. And the best part is, it's such a reasonable deal that I'll be able to move it pretty easily. I'll be able to trade him if it turns out that he isn't what we'd want him to be. It's very good news. I'm really happy about getting Bautista. I think he offers us excellent. I think he offers us a stabilizing presence in the rotation. It makes it really a formidable rotation. We have McDonald, Diago, Bautista, and Giles. Plus Moya. Plus potentially Montour. And I don't care how you slice it, my friends. That spells pretty great starting rotation to me. Including the back-to-back Cy Young winner in Tommy McDonald. McDonald's going to take me to the cleaners, so if he opts out. I'm a little concerned about that, because I will at some point run out of money. But I haven't yet. Okay. Oh yeah, Torkelson made it too. And really, Garcia made it easily. Huh. I thought he would have struggled more, to be honest. But good for him. Very excited to see him make it. Yeah. Big deals, my friends. Big deals. A little sad that Jose dropped off, but I'm not that surprised. And we'll just have to see if... Yeah, I do think Jose Ramirez in real life is going to be a borderline Hall of Famer. I think a lot's going to depend on how he does in his next contract. Hopefully one because I'll wake up to the Guardians re-signing him, because he's like the one amazing player on them now. Ever since we lost Frankie Lindor. Oh, the Cardinals did pay Weaver's asking price, so I might have gotten a draft pick, but it wasn't worth the risk. And Bautista's better, so hey, I'm pretty jazzed about that. Okay, preseason. I think I'm fine with the money as it's set. Because we're going to start hitting a payroll crunch in 2 seasons. Mostly it looks like it's coming from projected arbitration for Bartlett and Fernandez, which is fine. We'll need to deal. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. And also, apparently, Rusty Oliver wants to be like a quadrillionaire, which is, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it, but if he thinks he's making $20 million a year, that's pretty funny. You're not that important. Like, I don't want to give you the impression that I don't greatly value the abilities of Rusty Oliver, because I definitely do. But $20 million is an awful lot of money to ask for. So, I'm going to wait on that. But yeah, we're going to get a payroll cruncher in a couple of seasons, and we're going to have some important decisions to make, I think. Very important decisions to make. Saving the database. I've really been playing with Fire because I keep forgetting to back up my saves. But OOTP is actually really, really stable. Which is always an important thing for every video game or computer game or whatever kind of game you like to call it. Okay. I've already got 40 people on the roster. We're going to go ahead and put Montour. Oh, he's actually going to heal up here soon. Martin is going to miss spring training, which is fine. It's not fine, but it's fine. Who would I like to invite to spring training? I guess the invites I've already got are going to have to work, because I don't really see anybody who's advanced enough to really deserve an opportunity. Jody Cox has to work on that control to be considered. You're 200 pounds, dude. That's not really skinny. But I guess that's fine. I suppose we could offer you, in point of fact, we could offer you a spring training spot. I don't really think that's an issue. Vinny Salazar is already 26. I think he's at least earned an opportunity to get some playing time in spring training. I mean, Ron Baggett can't actually play second base, but that's not going to stop him from getting a spring training invite. Anderson definitely gets one, as does maybe Josh Wasson. There we go. And Kevin Baker. Let's go ahead and just let the bench coach do his thing. Wait, who are you not starting? Oh, no, you're starting the right people. Yeah, it's Montour that you're not starting, which I'm fine with. Lineups. Only 2 lineups. Exciting. I mean, I know that Jim Kelly is an amazing shortstop, so I don't mind you letting him play there, but I'm not convinced that he deserves, that he would be the best shortstop choice, but whatever. Interesting. You're benching Edgar. No, not optional. Edgar starts. Edgar is a big-time contact guy, which we don't have otherwise. So yes, Baker's most definitely not going to be a leadoff hitter either. And he's also not going to be a starter. That's going to be Sean Winter for now. No, I'm not saying that Baker doesn't have a chance to win the job, especially if I start to see some improvement in his ability to hit. But, guys, I'm not going to let Edgar be benched. He's a little too important to our team as a whole. So, that's just going to be how it's going to be. Let us simulate 1 month of spring training baseball. Avila's future might actually be first base. I mean, if you're athletic enough to be a catcher, you're athletic enough to play pretty much, you can play first base. It's not a difficult position to handle. One more day, please. And then, oh no, sorry, the baseball games are not quite finished yet. Let's keep going with that then. I never saw Hank Greenberg play. Obviously, I'm not old enough to, but he just seemed like a really nice dude. Up and down. If you're a Tigers fan, or if you happen to be either old enough to have seen him play, or maybe your parents or grandparents did, I'll be curious to hear what people think about him. Yeah, look at Moya. He does not want to be kicked out. I am still concerned about his drop in stamina, though. That does disconcert me slightly. Eric Martin lost a bunch of stuff but gained a bunch of movement. That's not necessarily a bad trade-off. Oh man, guys, Andres Avila's speed is increased to 4. He might now steal a base every 8 years instead of just once a decade. Which is fun. Yeah, way too much stuff happened here. I can't keep track of all this. He would like to be a hitting coach. I would like you to stay, please. Would you be willing to stay? You would. Who the fuck is Jim Robinson? Like, seriously, who is Jim Robinson? I mean, he's on the IL, so good for him, but I literally never heard of this guy. I just want to make sure we've played all the games before I start sending people down, and now we begin the purge. So, with a designated hitter, I have an important decision to make. Do I still carry 13 pitchers, reducing the value of my bench, or do I carry 12 pitchers? I think I have to carry 12 pitchers. Because I need 14 position players. I need my 9 starters, and I need 5 capable backups. I don't like the idea of trying to go into the season with 13 pitchers. That may prove to be a strategic mistake, to be relying so heavily on just a few people. But that's where we are right now. We're just going to have to accept that. So that means I need to dispose of 10 pitchers. First of all, easiest choice of them all, Luis Montour. You're a starting pitcher, not a reliever. I want you starting in the minors. I want you to keep developing as a starting pitcher with the hopes of maybe calling you up one day. Henry Urbina, minor leagues. Orlando Falcone, minor leagues. Cormier, minors. Bull, minors. Bender, minors. Arneson. Minors for now. What does that put me at in terms of pitchers? I'm at 15, still gotta send 3 people down. Turhar, you fucked up big time. Minors. Cox, minors. Gall, minors. Spellman, minors. Does that leave us at 12? It leaves us at 11. Okay. So I'm actually going to go back and call up Turhar, because what I want to use him for is basically being a long reliever. who doesn't get into important games. And I think he can excel in that role. I don't think that's going to be an issue for him. Alright, so let's go ahead and set up the pitching staff. So I'd like the rotation and where it's at. I'm not really going to mess with that at all. Burton being the closer, I feel like we tried it before and it didn't work out, but I don't see any reason why we can't try it this time. Eric Martin, I would like you to be our 7th inning setup guy. Oh, if I've already got Mike Roberts to do long relief, he's better than Turhar. I'm gonna send down Turhar because what I really need is I need somebody who can start in a pinch, and Turhar can't do that, in my opinion. I'm looking for an older starting pitcher who maybe just needs a chance in the big leagues to fill in case of an emergency. Israel Avila is not the worst choice there. If you had a third pitcher, Jared Gall, I'd strongly consider you for the role. But it's a cutter and a curveball, right? You know what? We are going to do it for Jared Gall. He's going to be our emergency starter if we need one. I know he's only got 2 pitches, but if he's only being an emergency starter, I think we're okay. I think I trust Burton more than Fleischman right now. But this is our pitching staff. Why do you still say I have 12 pitchers? Oh, no, I do have 12. Okay. Alright, gotta get rid of a whole bunch of position players. Martin is a 50. Albignac is a 70. Yeah, Martin, go back to the minors. And we're gonna have you work on your baseballing, I think. Elvis Rome definitely to the minors. Baggett definitely to the minors. Purdy to the minors. Stovall to the minors. So I've got Bartlett to be a utility guy. But I've also got Wasson. And Wasson can play lots more positions. And he's also good for the clubhouse. And the problem is the one thing Bartlett's bad at is the most important thing to not be bad at, which is range. I wonder if I should trade Bartlett. I think I should. Because, look, I can keep Kelly if I just want a really outstanding defender who's actually better than Bartlett. Or I could use Wasson. So I think no matter what, I think Bartlett's time has come and gone. Thurman also thinks he deserves a massive raise in arbitration, and he's a utility guy. So I don't see that that's a good use of my resources. I'm going to look for prospects because that's what I'm most interested in. And I'm not seeing a lot. Espino is a decent all-around bat. I'd love to see him put on a bit more weight so he can be a bit more powerful. I mean, Grabsky is just a flat-out upgrade as a utility guy. And Jaden Ring's not a terrible catcher. I wonder if I could get Grabsky and Espino. If I could get both of them, that would be the perfect trade for me. I mean, not the perfect trade, obviously. But if I could get both of them, I'd be pretty happy about that. Can you get that catcher, too? Nice. Yeah, I'm totally happy with this. Done. Um. So, Anderson's going to the minors. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do I want 6 infielders? Probably not, but let's start dealing with outfielders. Okay, Salazar and Baker go right to the minors there. Maciel to the minors. Ortiz to the minors. So this is an interesting decision to make here. So first of all, I could carry 7 outfielders, which seems pretty stupid, right? Like, you don't need 7 outfielders. The question becomes, would it be more valuable... Okay, how many hitters do I have right now? I have 15, so one's got to go. So it really comes down to, do I carry 6 infielders and 7 outfielders and 2 catchers? Wait, that's not right. Do I really have 7 outfielders? I do. How do I have 7 outfielders and 6 infielders? I should have 15 position players. I do. Okay, I can't math right now. Sorry. Here's my quote-unquote problem. If I keep Aldridge on the roster, I'm going to be really tempted to let him hit. Just because of his raw, unmitigated power. Like, right now, I have legit 2 power dudes. Fernandez and Merrill. God help me, am I thinking of DHing? Fucking, like, McCann and Aldridge? I think I am. Okay. If I'm going to do that, then I need to send down an infielder, so it's going to be Wasson that gets sent down. I don't feel great about that. I don't feel great about Kelly running all 3 out infield positions, but I think this is the... No. Winter is a center fielder. I need to set him as that so that I can consider the rest of my decisions fairly. So starting outfielders are going to be Winter, Edgar, and Oliver. I'm going to send down Bobby Higgins so that I can keep up Wasson. Where is Wasson? Where are you a-Wassoning? No, seriously, where's Wasson? What did I do with him? Okay, there he is. I don't know why I couldn't find him. And let me explain why I'm sending down Higgins. It's because I'd rather take a chance on, like, McCann and Aldridge being my... Okay, wait a minute. No, I have to keep Higgins. Because right now I don't have anybody else on that roster that can play center. But hang on. Okay. I was going to make Manny Fernandez the full-time DH. But he's not the worst outfielder. I could play him in the outfield. Or I could play Aldridge in the outfield. But the problem is, my starting left fielder is Chris Edgar. With Winter in center and Oliver on right, my outfield is set. So if that's the case, and there's really no point in keeping Aldridge on the roster because he won't actually have a chance to play. So then I'm going to send out Aldridge and I'm going to call up Higgins so that I have that backup center fielder that I can trust. Or Chris Neff. Like, Neff is a legit center fielder. He's also a pretty decent hitter. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to call up, of all people, Chris Neff. I think he's actually the best choice to be our backup center fielder. There we go. Do you have a hole in your swing, Edgar? I don't remember you having one. No, you're perfectly competent against left-handed pitching. You're just maybe not quite as good. All right, so Watson and Kelly both make the opening day roster. Congratulations to both of you. And everyone else is already set, I think. Okay. So let's go ahead and get our lineups and depth charts started. Oop. We begin, as always, with the very best hitter on the team, no questions asked, Andres Avila. Batting third. I'm going to let Albignac be your backup for one more season, just because I know I can't get a decent deal for him. But you're going to be starting once every 10 days to make sure that Avila gets a break now and again. Next up, we need our leadoff guy, who's going to be Chris Edgar. I know Edgar's not a brilliant defender, but I don't mind because he is a very good hitter. And that's what I value more than having an amazing left fielder. Batting second is an interesting question. Who will be batting second for the Pittsburgh Pirates? Sean Winter. Yeah, Winter's a really good contact hitter with pretty good discipline. I feel very confident letting him bat second. He is kind of a non-factor against lefties, but so is Neff. So I think we'll just kind of accept the fact that we're going to sacrifice a bit there. Oh, I just moved the lineup around. Rusty Oliver definitely needs to be hitting either fourth or fifth, so I think we'll have him bat fifth. That's middle of the lineup. You should be pretty happy about that. Now, the million-dollar question is Manny Fernandez or Greg Merrill my cleanup hitter? And they both offer very similar skill sets. Fernandez is a touch better at hitting for contact. Merrill's a lot better at hitting for power, though. Like, if Fernandez doesn't hit a home run, he'll probably hit a double. But if he'll probably won't hit a double. Merrill probably will. I think we're going to start with Merrill hitting cleanup. And then Fernandez hitting... Actually... No, Fernandez is good enough to play every day. I'm not going to make him wait. You're going to be a DH, Mr. Fernandez. Manny Pozo is going to hit 7th. Playing shortstop, of course. Bobby Herrera hits 3rd, or hits 8th and plays 3rd base. And Gabe Leonard is going to bat 9th and hit 2nd, or play 2nd. And this is a guy who's hit double-digit home runs every season of his career, so this is a pretty loaded lineup. I'm pretty excited about it. The only question is... So here's what I'm thinking. Winter is not a brilliant center fielder. He's not awful, but he's not brilliant. I don't really have a replacement for him, though, is the other issue, though. I don't really have somebody that I trust to be a replacement. Okay, well, let's start setting up backup assignments. I may rethink some of this. Winter is such a zero against left-handed pitching that I might actually go ahead and let Neff play against left-handed pitching. No, actually, he's also terrible. Do I just start Neff? Like, he's really fast. He's a really good outfielder. Okay, let me talk out what I'm thinking right now. Winter is not a great center fielder, but is a pretty competent corner outfielder. They'll be benching Fernandez, though. And I need his power. Damn it. I want Winter's bat against lefties, but I don't want his glove against lefties. If that makes sense. I don't want him playing... I don't like his glove. I don't think he's a good enough center fielder. And unfortunately for us, Oliver can't play center, and Edgar damn sure can't play center. I don't have a true center fielder that I trust in every aspect of the game. And that creates a real issue for us because Winter's bat is elite. Winter's a really good hitter. So I guess I can punt a little on center field. Maybe. Game, why do you torment me? Why do you keep giving me these magnificent players that I just can't play because I don't have enough spots? Like, from a defensive perspective, playing Neff every day at center field just makes good sense. He's a much better center fielder than Winter. He's got enough bat that he won't embarrass himself. That's what we're looking at with him. But Winter is clearly a top-level hitter. And I don't think we're so loaded in the lineup that we can afford to punt offensively either. The alternative, of course, is that Winter becomes a super sub playing at all three outfield positions in a secondary role and being one of the best pinch hitters on the planet. And I don't hate that either. It's probably underutilizing him given his raw talent, but it might be a better fit because then I can start Neff, get a much better center field experience, and I can just bump someone else to be hitting second, like maybe Herrera or Pozo. Or just somebody else. Maybe even, hell, probably even Rusty Oliver would be batting second in that case. I think I'm going to I might potentially regret this, but we're going to do this. And I'm going to bat Oliver second, and everyone else moves up. I think this is the right play. Is Winter better than Edgar? No, Edgar is definitely better. So Winter is going to start at both corner outfield spots and in center when we need a backup. McCannon is going to back up for him. $43, $35, $61. Actually, I'm going to DH Edgar, and we're going to let Fernandez play left. He's actually a slightly better outfielder. So I might as well just do that. Okay. Winter is also going to be the backup DH. I basically want him getting as many at-bats as possible that don't involve him starting, unless somebody else gets hurt. In which case, I'll happily slot him in to be a premier piece to the puzzle. Watson is not an awful hitter, so we'll go ahead and make him a pinch hitter. Winter and Kelly are your pinch runners. Kelly's gonna back up at second and short. That's not short. And third, actually. He's such a good athlete that I bet he can learn third on the fly. Watson's going to back up at first, and then he's going to back up every other position here. No, a starter tired. I also want to make Kelly our defensive sub at second because while I trust Pozo and Herrera to handle their business, I don't trust Leonard quite. No, sorry, I meant Herrera. No, Herrera, he can't play third. Never mind. Fuck it. I'm just gonna leave it as is. Anyway. So this is gonna be our starting lineup, and I don't feel great about my bench depth though. I don't like how neither of my backup infielders can hit that effectively, and that may be something we have to address in a trade or down the line. I mean, the alternative, of course, is benching Watson and calling up Aldridge, which I just don't think would be a good idea. So, any other changes to make to this opening day roster? I don't believe so. I still don't feel great about benching Winter, given his overall offensive capability, but I really don't think that I can afford to have... I do need to get someone off the 40-man. That is fair. Who's the worst player who's on the 40-man right now? Hi, Hurdy. Then I can put Neff on the 40-man. If you're a starting center fielder. Aldridge is already 30. Why does your contact have to be so terrible? If you had a contact of 40, I'd happily keep you on the roster. Unfortunately, your contact keeps treading in the wrong direction. You're never going to hit for 240, 250 consistently. And that makes you a risk I can't afford. I'm not going to trade you yet, though. I'm going to keep you in the minors, and we're going to see if you can develop a bit more contact or just be ready in case someone gets hurt. Do I have a... you're a great hitter, but Lord knows you can't field. Anderson is a good backup first baseman, but it's the only position he can play. Knowlton is not a great hitter. Church is a good backup first baseman. If I needed an emergency first baseman, I'd probably call him up, but no. let's quickly, on opening day, let's check the waiver wire and see if someone's trying to sneak through a decent-looking infielder. Because I'd feel a lot better if I had a more competent hitting infielder that could play at least one position with some level of skill that wasn't first base. Like, guys, I ain't looking for Babe Ruth. I'm looking for competency so that if I need to give someone a break, that we're not in bad thing. I can words. No, I can't. That's a lie. I don't even remember what I was trying to say. Forgot I said anything. Let's check the waiver wire. Hello, Juan Alvarez. You are a reasonably competent hitter. And a reasonably... you're not a great defender. Hi, Eric. I'm going to put a claim in on you. Yeah, Pempak is exactly what I'm looking for. He is a very good hitter who plays two positions quite well. I'd be more than honored to have this individual on my bench if we can acquire him. I think that would be a big move for us. Why is Robert's first name capitalized but not his last name? It's Robert Stock. It's pretty funny, actually. I'm here for it, though. I love it. Alright, my friends, that's going to conclude today's episode. I feel a lot better about our power. I think if any lineup move is going to likely to bite me on the ass, it's going to be deciding to bench Sean Winter. I'm still not convinced that was the right move. I'm still not convinced benching Winter is the right move. But I need a good center fielder. And Chris Knapp is definitely that. But we've upgraded our lineup significantly in terms of having a lot more power in it. We're not just a big average team. We should have the thump to make sure these guys get driven in. Merrill and Fernandez are definitely not perfect. They definitely offer upside, but also a bit of risk because neither one of them is a great contact hitter. But as Pozo continues to develop, and I'm hoping we see him take another step forward, we'll get some improvements there. We'll have a full season of Bobby Herrera, and he's another one who can provide a lot of really helpful offense. Albeit he's not a great third baseman, but we'll live with that. We have the man Rusty Oliver hitting second, which I think he's just perfect for. We've got our leadoff guy back, who is really good at baseball too. Do I switch Oliver and Edgar? Oliver's just a better hitter top to bottom. No, I think I like having Oliver batting a little lower, whereas we're looking at people to drive in. Gabe Leonard is going to prompt a discussion in the not-too-distant future about whether we keep him or not. Just because what he brings to the table is obviously very valuable, but he's not so good that I can't afford to upgrade at second. And he definitely has flaws in his game, too. So we're going to see how he does this season, but this might be a make-or-break season for him. I mean, look, 3 wins is 3 wins. That's not an easy thing to find at any position, much less a premium defense position like second base. But his offensive flaws, and they are significant, may not make him the best risk going forward. He's not asking for a ton of money yet, so I'm willing to wait him out. At some point, we also need to decide if Pozo stays at third or at short. I think he's a better third baseman, but I don't really have a shortstop that I trust right now. But if we can find a good everyday shortstop down the line, then Pozo might shift to third base permanently, because I think his skill set's a little bit better for third, given his incredible arm strength and his otherwise top-tier defense. Like, I think he's a perfectly serviceable shortstop, but he might be a gold glover at third. So we will figure out what to do with him going forward. But I think this lineup has so much potential, though. I think we have the potential to have a really balanced, top-quality lineup that could be a good one for years to come. Because we do have some age in this lineup. It's no longer a super mega young lineup. We definitely have several 30-year-olds. But the 30-year-olds we do have are some of the best in Major League Baseball, like Andres Avila. And the others are really useful role players. I mean, we have 4 starters over the age of 30. Or 30 or older. Merrill and Avila. And let's be honest about Merrill. This man does not have a lot of mileage on himself in baseball terms. So even though he's 30, he could still have, another 5 to 10 productive years out of him. Especially if we can get him without paying too much money. Now, he will be a free agent at the end of the year, so if we decide we don't want to keep him, that's totally fine. We can find a replacement for him. Manny Fernandez is the only one who we need to monitor very closely. In fact, I'm going to shortlist him. If he starts declining given his age and his overall usage... Actually, he hasn't played all that much either. What is it with Colorado and having these outstanding players who just don't play? Like, Colorado's just been feeding me players for a while now, and I'm here for it. Did I draft absolutely anybody in my starting lineup? Avila was an international free agent. Merrill was a trade. Leonard was a trade. Herrera was international free agent. Pozo was a free agent. Edgar was a trade. Fernandez was a trade. Neff was drafted. And Oliver was drafted. So there you go. We have 2 drafted players in our actual everyday lineup. With Winter being a trade. Wow. Oh, by the way, OOTP, I would love just a quick little screen where I can see how we got them. Actually, isn't there an acquisition thing here? I thought I saw that the other day. Maybe I'm asking for something that actually already exists. It was under MISC info. Nope, maybe not. Yeah, I could have sworn there was a column that offered you the ability to... I mean, I can obviously click on these just to have my draft pick values on them. But it doesn't say, how you got them. I thought there was an acquisition option. Maybe there isn't. But that is something I would find really cool. Would just be able to look at a glance and see, oh, that's how I got this guy, that's how I got this guy, that's how I got this other guy, etc., etc. Okay. Wait, I really have Edgar for 7 more years? That doesn't sound right, is it? No, son of a bitch, he is making that much money for that long. Oh, that's fine. I have no beef with him. He's a really talented hitter, and I think he's going to be a very useful one. And his contract is, again, quite low, so I can dump him if I need to. Okie dokie. Well, my friends, thank you very much for watching. I hope you're enjoying the series. Next time, we're going to play through the season and see if we can't finally break the hump with the use of our new designated hitter. I love it. But until next time, this has been Guardian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.